Hello and welcome to the Mike Leaf Show right here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Cory Prudoehl, joined as always by the head men's basketball coach, Mike Leaf. Coach, a great weekend for you. A couple wins over Wayne State and then the second-ranked team in the nation in Augustana. Let's start out with the Wayne game, where probably one of your worst games of the year, the first time you played them in Wayne. You turned that around with a pretty good performance against them this time in an 82-63 win. So talk a little bit about that game.
Yeah, you know, it was both games are somewhat of a revenge factor.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
You know, we're playing when we played at Wayne, and these games we've been playing on the road. It's like the opposing teams are just shooting the lights out from three, and you know, we have to take care of that, even though we're contesting. So it's almost to a point where we want to force them to put it on the ground. And I thought we played some good defense, you know, in both games against Wayne. They have a couple shooters that have been pretty hot, and I think we took that away from them. And for us, I thought we shot the ball well both nights, but it certainly started off with the Wayne game.
Yep, and also in that game, the offense was really balanced, too. He had 5 in double figures, and then if you count Blacklock with 9, that's 6 with 9 or more points. So is that kind of something you like to see, and is that a recipe for success?
Finally. and that's, you know, I love the accolades that, you know, like Isaiah Gray is getting, et cetera, but you certainly want to have a good 5 guys in double figures because you just can't focus on 1 or 2, and so that's a big positive for us, and that's the way you're going to win, and so that was great to see, absolutely.
Yeah, and then even greater to see was your performance the next night against Augustana, coming in, you know, riding high, one of the best teams in the nation on a 19-game winning streak, just on a roll, and then they come into Romano Gymnasium and you play probably your best game of the season, and you pull out a 75-72 win. First of all, just how much of a
how do we do it?
I don't know. That's what I'm hoping you're going to tell me. But how much of a confidence booster, first of all, is that?
That's big for us. It really is. And you know, we're limited with Riley Bamanek still right now. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you watch the game film from the first time you play them, and you look at these mistakes and say, my God, how simple they are to fix. And it literally is, Cory. It's like if you know, most passes are made in this general area, and our hands are down here. I mean, just that little reaction time and being able to get a tip, or that reaction of getting a hand up and discouraging a 3. And again, just really pummeling that into their brains. And I don't know why it takes so long, to be honest with you, but you know, we communicated better, and the defense was much better. And again, we shot the ball pretty darn well, and it was kind of a break open night for Mr. Wagner.
Right.
And
absolutely.
Tim played very, very well and hit some crucial shots for us. And good old Big Smooth, I don't know, Nick Arns, he finally did it. But I'll tell you, I've been telling him this for weeks. Go ahead and shoot. And he just is afraid to do it. And they weren't guarding him. And so he took the shots. And so hopefully that's going to continue, because that certainly will help.
Yep. Hey, you mentioned Tim Wagner. It seemed like throughout the season, that's one thing you've been frustrated with, is how he can hit anything in practice, and then a game comes and he kind of struggles a little bit from three-point range. But he had 13 points on Friday, and then 5 for 5 in the second half, which was really, I think, really one of the keys against the Vikings. So are you hoping, you know, he's got his shot down, and now that he's going to be one of the keys going forward here for you?
I haven't brought it up to him at all. Let him just do his thing. You know, and we talked last week about it. I said, he's going to hit 7, you know, pretty soon, and it was pretty close. So, you know, that's nice to see. And Tim was, if there's one guy that's in the gym more than anybody, working on his shot. And his defense has risen up. He's gotten much better at that. But I think a lot of the open shots are, you know, he creates, but at the same time, he's really worked fundamentally at his taking the ball to the basket. And he's actually, next to Isaiah, he's probably our second best at doing it, creating. So I think that's opened up some of his opportunities on that perimeter as well.
And I noticed, obviously, you pride yourself on defense, and that was one of the keys in the Augustana game as well.
Very
obviously, as 2 Player of the Year candidates in Schilling and Jansen, you held them to 21 points combined. So what was kind of the key of shutting them guys down?
You know, that was a big one, and we had to be more physical. You know, I think Muhammad has come a long way, not so much in a scoring category, but you know, I asked him, give me 10 points. And he got in a little foul trouble, but Kyle is obviously a tremendous player, and you know, but just between the two of them, having to, you know, wear him down. And one of the big things with him, we said, let's run the floor, and let's run and run and run. And we knew they had a game the night before where both teams scored in the 90s, so there was just a lot of up and down there as well. So we had to take advantage of that too.
So overall, this season, you know, wasn't what you're accustomed to having record-wise, but now tournament time. the slate's pretty much wiped clean now. You're 0-0 on the road in Duluth in the first round. Is that kind of almost a breath of fresh air, kind of being 0-0 as you can kind of think of it?
Yeah, it is. You know, I tell this to our guys, and hopefully they believe me, but I told them, like, you know, been in situations before, and you can look at an Upper Iowa team of a year ago, 2 years ago, or you can look at teams that can, right now, anything can happen. And even those that are, you know, like your Augies, they've got to watch out. And yeah, they'll be in the regional, but at the same time, you don't want to be losing games now. And teams are coming in there, and they're coming in there full bore. So it is a new season. And you know, it's unfortunate we have to be on the road. I said, man, it's been a long time since that's happened. But I think to be honest with you, I think it's good for us because the rest of the games are neutral sites, and you know, you've got to be able to win on the road, neutral sites and beyond. And so this will be a really, really good test for us.
So how important was it to get that road win last week against Mankato? Is that going to be a confidence thing where, hey, we can win there and we can win anywhere?
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it. You know, and it's if you see that and you know, you got to buy into the fact that if we go out there and play Mankato every night, you know, that's such a mind game that we have. And you know, if I try and sell, and sometimes they don't buy, but I do my best at it. But it's playing to your best abilities that you can, and not having those small mistakes. And you know, there was a game where we had the 15 turnovers, and you know, it's like Isaiah Gray said to me. I think he had. He had 8 assists, but he had 6 turnovers, but the turnovers came not so much from a passing standpoint. It was a couple charges and those things. I said, yeah, let's just eliminate a couple more of these for the next game, and you know, that could be a 6-point swing. So that's on the road, but it is a whole new ball game, and it's an exciting time of year.
So let's talk a little bit about the game tomorrow, first round of the NSIC Tournament. You traveled to Duluth. The first time you went there didn't go so well. You lost 76-63. Duluth, you mentioned that was kind of at the stretch where teams were hitting a lot of threes against you, and they did that too. I think they hit 11 of 22 for the game, and you struggled. I think you only made a couple of threes in that game. So was that kind of the difference in that first game? Yeah,
there's no question. And it was, we were terrible. We were just terrible. And you know, I sat back and I said, a lot of these guys are going on their first trips to some of these places, and so having been there just recently and being able to get up there and you know, I think we'll play so much better. They're you know, we were just talking about it this morning, but a team that'll do a lot of switching. They've got a couple of really good shooters, so getting out on them and forcing them to put it on the floor. But at the same time, I think we've got quickness. We're going to push it up the floor, and we're going to make them run. And I think that really generates enthusiasm within our team, because a lot of our guys like to shoot it in the full court. So, you know, we're doing those things, and hopefully that's going to pay off.
Yeah, and then finally, with kind of the history of making deep runs into the tournament, is it hard not to look ahead to Sioux Falls, or to have your guys look ahead to Sioux Falls and, oh, hey, you know, we're just going to kind of think we're going to be there, but yet you have a tough opponent awaiting you tomorrow?
You know, it isn't. Not this time around. And just knowing that the success rate we have had on the road has not been the best. So it is, I think it finally has sunk in. You know, we can beat some great teams, but at the same time, we have to play great basketball, and it could be anybody. And early on in the season, heading to Sioux Falls and losing, or heading to you know, Southwest, or whatever it may be, and knowing that we've got to just play our best, and then they recognize it. This is tournament time. If we lose, we're done.
Absolutely.
And so we lay everything on the line.
Fun time of year, so it should be a...
Seems a little early, but hey.
What are you going to do? So
I know, exactly. It's tournament time. Let's go play it.
Should be a fun time. You head up to Duluth tomorrow to take on the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs at 7 p.m. in Romano Gym, and then hopefully it'll be the start of a deep postseason run where you head to Sioux Falls, and then we'll see what happens. But you got to win the first one tomorrow, and that starts, you know, on Wednesday in Duluth. So until next time, for Coach, I'm Cory Prudoehl. This is the Mike Leaf Show right here on the Warrior Sports Network.